What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Raga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Leo sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of July 23rd and August 22nd, then you are a Leo sun sign, and this video is for you. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. We're going to be using 3 different oracle decks, and I like to call this reading Healing the Shadow. We all have a shadow aspect to us. It's our dark side. It's the hidden side. It's the side that, goes along with Darth Vader. Okay, and we all need to heal our shadows, and that's a very important part of this journey, and that's what this reading is designed to do. It's designed to tell you how to heal from your shadow. One thing I do want to say is that this is a very general reading. It's not going to apply to everyone, so I encourage you to take what works for you and leave the rest. And I think in this reading you'll know pretty early on whether or not it resonates, so that's good about it. The decks that we're going to be using here are the Mortem Oraculum, the Keepers of the Light Oracle, and the Crystal Reading card. So let's get right on into it without further ado. And the first card we're going to look at is this one, and this card represents where your shadow lies, how your shadow is manifesting itself at this time. We've got a Cobra with Transformation. Give me a moment to process what's going on here. This is an interesting one. The feeling I'm getting is that your shadow is stopping you from change, or at least trying to. I think, personally, all change is for the better. The universe wouldn't give you change that wasn't designed to help you to grow. But I think your shadow is whispering in your ear with little hisses, you know what I mean? That, no, stay the same. Change is bad. Change is scary. Change is going to complicate things. And we don't want that. We like to be safe and secure. Don't change. So I think your shadow is trying to, and how do I do this? Okay, let me put it this way. All of us allow our shadows to affect us in different ways. Some of us have a lot of control over our shadow. We recognize it, we know what it's trying to do, and we can work against it. Others are completely oblivious to their shadow, and they let their shadow run the show. Most of us fall somewhere in between those two extremes. And so for some of you, your shadow is going to have a very strong pull, a strong influence in your life, and you listen to that little hissing in your ear. Don't change. Keep things the same. Others of you hear the hissing and and just ignore it. So I don't want to say that everyone is being led around or controlled by their shadow. Not what I'm trying to say, but I am saying that your dark aspects may be holding you back in this way. They may be trying to stop you from transformation, stop you from growing. And that's just what the shadow does. And I don't know if it's malicious or if it's just that it's led by the ego. I'm not really sure how or why the shadow is there. It does help balance us out, the yin and the yang. So it's important to have the shadow, but it's more important to acknowledge it. We can't let the shadow run the show, okay? Or else there would be no transformation, no change would ever occur, and you'd always be stuck in a certain place. So it's very important to acknowledge the shadow and realize what it's trying to do, and only then can you truly work against it and try to bring more light into your life. And I think we'll see what the other cards say, but I think for the most part your shadow is trying to stop you from forward movement. Alright, let's check out this card, which represents how you can heal your shadow, what entity to work with to help heal it. And we've got hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. I think that's goes without saying. I think that's very, very clear message here. How are you going to beat fear, worry, anxiety for the future? Well, you feed it love. You fight that with love and acceptance, and realizing that all change is helping you. You have to love yourself, most importantly, and love yourself for having your shadow. I make it seem like the shadow is this horrible thing. The shadow is there to teach us as well. The shadow is there to help guide us by showing us what we don't want. And what we don't want is to have self-doubt, self-deprecating thoughts. We don't want to think lowly of ourselves. We want to love ourselves. We want to be optimistic about who we are and what we can achieve. And you do that through love, through self-love. And I think that's going to be the most important thing for you to heal the shadow, is to love yourself, accept your shadow. I did say fight against it earlier, but that's not the right terminology. You don't want to fight against your shadow. You want to use your shadow to help you to grow. And use its own energy against it. Take all that negative energy from your shadow and harness it and turn it into positivity through self-love, through self-acceptance and self-understanding, and use that energy. It's like judo. If someone's coming at you who's got 100 pounds on you, you're not gonna win that fight unless you use that person's energy against them. And you take their momentum and you use it, and you make yourself a pendulum, or maybe that's not the word, not a pendulum, but anyway, you use your energy against them, use their energy against them, and use it for good. So that's going to come through love and acceptance of the self, I think. And choose loving thoughts. I think that's a very important little message here. When the shadow is telling you negativity, think the opposite. Choose loving thoughts. Say, okay, the shadow says I'm not good enough to accomplish that goal. Well, flip that 180 degrees on its head and say, I can accomplish that goal. I love myself, and I know I'm able to accomplish that goal. And use the shadow as like your opposite. Anytime your shadow chimes up, think the exact opposite. It's like telling you it's time to think differently. So the shadow can definitely be an ally, an asset in your life. So I know I've made it seem like it's a horrible thing, but it's truly not. It's here to help you grow. Okay, so the last card we have here to look at represents what crystal or healing energy can help you heal the shadow. And we've got Baji stones, balance. Oh, how nice. Baji stones are, they come in a pair. There's a masculine and a feminine stone, and they're very hard to separate. They're not physically attached, but energetically they are. And one gives off a masculine energy, one gives off a feminine energy, and that is balance. And I think that's exactly what I've been saying here, is that you're not supposed to, you shouldn't hide from your shadow, you shouldn't fear your shadow, you shouldn't be angry at your shadow. You should use your shadow to complement who you are, right? Balance out those energies. You've got this pure love and divine light within you, and you've also got this very dark, very kind of negative side to you. And I'm not saying that you should ignore it. I'm saying that you should balance those things out so that you can use your shadow for your benefit. And you're going to use that shadow, like I said, by knowing what it is you want to move away from. Your shadow will show you what you want to move away from. In the case of Leo sun signs, I get the feeling that your shadow wants to show you that you need to move away from stagnation. You need to move away from the comfort zone. Whenever you get out of your comfort zone, you're forced to grow. And your shadow doesn't seem to want that. Your shadow wants you to stay put. Okay? And it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of what change will bring. And use that shadow to your advantage. Move away from it, Leo friends. So now that we've seen all the cards as a whole, I can sum up in saying that your shadow wants you to stay in place for the most part, if this resonates with you, of course. It wants you to stay in your comfort zone. It doesn't want you to get out into the world and test yourself, because that would have to mean that you have to grow, and your shadow doesn't want that. In order to heal your shadow a little bit, you need to find self-love. Love yourself for your shadow. Love yourself, including your shadow. Love everything about yourself, and use that shadow for advancement rather than allowing it to control things and allowing it to keep you stuck. If you're inclined to use crystals, Baji stones will help you to bring that balance. And that balance is what you need to balance that light and that dark within you. You look at a yin and yang symbol, and it's completely and utterly balanced. And that's you're never gonna get rid of your shadow, okay? But you can find a way to balance it within you. A lot of people, their shadow side is out of balance, and it's got too much pull, it's got too much strength. and they're out of balance because there's not enough light. There's too much darkness, and I think having too much light is a problem as well. I think if you're not balanced, then you're not in harmony with the universe. Okay, the universe has its shadow as well. That's why we have darkness, right? So that's why there's darkness. It's because the universe is balanced, and you need to find that balance within yourself. So Baji stones will help greatly. The masculine and the feminine coming together to create an androgynous balanced being. Okay, all right, that is the reading, Leo friends. I hope you guys got something out of that. Again, not a reading for everybody, so take what works for you. If you want a specific reading where I tap into your energies, then head on over to lightofriga.com. The link is in the description. If you want this particular reading, this falls under the 3-card reading category, so it's as low as $10. If you're so inclined to get a personal reading, go check that out. Be sure to do all the YouTube stuff, all the liking, sharing, subscribing, the commenting. I really do appreciate all of that. You help this channel to grow, thereby, sending more healing out into the world. So I appreciate all the interaction that you have on this channel. All right, Leo friends, we got some balancing to do, but you got this. You surely do. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish you love and light, Leo friends. Leave a like if you enjoy this. Happy taroting. Peace.